hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again. So really fast, I want to just cover, I'm surprised no one ever brought it up in the YouTube comments, but regarding the video glare in my new room, in my new apartment, that'll all be probably fixed within the next 2 weeks. I'm still like building my room and I have to get a loft and elevate my bed. And then get the blackout curtains. You can actually see up at the corner that we have this stuff screwed in already. I just have to get the curtains, and I know we fucked up a couple holes. Don't worry, it's hard to aim the right hole. That's also not toilet paper. That's a wax burner. Anyway, though, just let's move on to the actual video content. So anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and keep you guys updated. Now, this is kind of going to be a little bit more of like a, I don't know the word for it, like a informative video, not really like a content video. I guess it's going to be more of like me bitching. I guess that's the better way to explain it. So a lot of people have been asking me, you know, how come you're not really playing trappers anymore? You know, I think I first got known for playing fire trap, and you know, fire trap prolift meta was a lot of fun. I played that for like a good 1.5 to 2 years. And then they gutted Elite Prolift, and then I was like, damn, well, trappers are kind of ripped. They weren't really ripped, but Elite Prolift hit really hurt them really bad. And then they released Poison, and then I played a Poison Trapper and kind of created a little bit of like the Poison Trapper meta, which then spread to Bladefall Mines, which is the exact same thing. It's just you go CI. You know, I was completely against CI for the longest time, and ES type builds. And then the game hit Ascendancy. And Ascendancy changed the entire game. And this is kind of where I'm coming from. So what happened in Ascendancy is characters gained ridiculous power creep. And for people who don't know what power creep is, it's essentially when your character becomes kind of like a god. Like, you can essentially clear 2 screens away, not have to worry about reflect. You get a support in your party, feel 3 times more like a god. It's basically what your ultimate goal is in pretty much every game. And Path of Exile kind of has this, you know? You can design a character made for one specific thing, and it can be very good at it. Now, trying to make a character that's suitable for every type of content is a bit more difficult, but they have things like that. Low Life Righteous Fire, Hand of Wisdom in Action, Blade Flurry, Ancestral War Chief Totem. And there's a couple, and the list goes on and on and on with these overpowered builds that kind of work for everything. You know, maybe you don't agree, that's totally fine, but these builds can clear pretty much all content in the game, unless they have to deal with like immunities and whatnot. Trappers don't fully fit that meta, and if they do, it's such a small pool of traps that it's not really customizable anymore. Does that make sense? And this is my opinion. I could totally be incorrect. You know, I have not played every skill on every trap, as every build with every ascendancy. I'm just one person, and I haven't had the time, effort, or the care to really try all of these hipster builds. And the reason why is because there are some things that are so essential to trap builds. So in this league, in the Legacy Hardcore, I have a level 90 Fire Trapper. It was my first character. It died originally to a one-shot. You can see it on the YouTube on day 1 when I started mapping. And then I remade it, and now it's got about 7.3k effective life before a Comb's Heart, before a Zoph's Blood. So it can hit about 10 to 11k effective life. The problem with this character is I don't see this character doing much more content than just farming Shape Strand. And that's kind of an issue for me, because it's not hard to make a build to just farm Shape Strand efficiently. You can essentially take any melee skill, right, use a certain unique, call it Kitavas, and clear, maybe because of now the AoE nerfs, 80% of your screen in one hit, clear Shape Strand in like 60 seconds, but your build is absolute shit for any type of bossing or, you know, certain map layouts, or your build just is not very tanky. And I feel that this happens, and this really hits a lot of builds as they enter red maps. Red maps is kind of like a huge gear threshold. It basically states, like, if your build is kind of shit, you don't really feel comfortable rolling 3 damage property maps and whatnot. And I feel that trappers are kind of hit in this same scenario. I can name a couple trappers or trap builds off the top of my head that will work just fine. And again, I'm sure there's more. It's just the way I used to play, which is, you know, I'm still stuck in like my old meta, just doesn't really work anymore. People used to know me for like 4k HP builds that would one-shot the whole screen. You can't really do that anymore, because 4k HP is literally like a white mob takes a shit with 0 damage mobs, and you were fucking in town and you still died from the degen. It doesn't suffice. So, things that are really good in terms of trappers. Now, I don't know on this one because they nerfed Pyre, but Vortex trappers with double dipping were insane. Poison Bladefall Trappers were really good. I think Crit Ice Trap was okay, but the AoE is really fucked on it, so I don't really know. I know Rise and a couple of other players were doing like an Elementalist Trapper with Lightning Trap and whatnot. That seemed to be clearing maps really well. And again, like I said, the list can go on and on. Some people use Emberwake and Taming. Some people do like ridiculous combinations of like ridiculous fucking GMP stuff. But the thing is when I look back and compare it to another build, it just doesn't perform as well. Like, if I compare it to my low-life Righteous Fire character, I feel the only thing Fire Trap is ever going to beat it in would be Clear Speed. Maybe damage for a single target. It's unlikely, but it could totally happen, don't get me wrong. But it'll never be nearly as tanky, and it won't really have the sustain. Same thing when you compare it to, for example, Animate Weapon or Summon Raging Spirits. I feel you are so limited. I remember before when I used to play, you could honestly do so many different things. You could play like Shock Nova Cluster Trap and this and that and etc. And because the scaling wasn't so high, you didn't really feel like you got punished. Now, it kind of is that exact same thing. And again, don't get me wrong, I feel like a lot of people are going to misunderstand this video. You can take literally any skill that you want and clear maps with it, but it doesn't mean that your build is up to par with what it could be. So, let's talk about Ele Prolif, because that was a huge nerf. Elemental Proliferation is a support gem that we used to have. I don't remember what the old values were, but essentially Ele Prolif now reduces the damage that your skill deals and has an Ele Prolif of 16 rather than 12, which is attached to Elementalist. Essentially, this value was like quadrupled before in the past, so your Ele Prolif would essentially be a circle like this big on the screen, but it would actually hit an area like this. And if you look at some of my old videos, like from 2 years ago, you can actually see that. Now, Fire Trap actually has a large AoE, but the Ele Prolif is tiny. And if I go do like, let me just show you guys in Dried Lake really fast, just to show you the range of it, it just doesn't feel what I'm used to, and that's kind of what really puts me off from playing it. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's use, here's some birdies. Okay, so this is the Prolif. You can see it's not even hitting, now it is, when they get in range. Before, a Prolif this big would literally hit like this much at the screen. So it put like this huge safety net compared to what we're used to now, right? Look at how close the monsters have to get in proximity. They literally have to get on top of the Ele Prolif for it to even do anything. And I'm not saying, you know, wah, buff it, nerf it, etc. I'm just telling you the way I used to feel compared to what it was. It's just not the same. Fire Trap's AoE is huge, but the Prolif is tiny. And the Prolif is what really brings out the damage of the skill. So it just felt kind of inconsistent when I was playing it, and I just wasn't enjoying it as much, and that's why I kind of took a little break from the character. And I may go back to it later on. You know, like I said, the character's level 90. It's solid. It does good. It just wasn't up to par with what I wanted. And that's kind of a big reason, like I said, why I took a break from them, because I feel that if I truly want to have fun with the game, I need to feel like my character is extremely tanky. Because when you're trying to do all these ridiculous contents, right? When you're trying to do triple damage, 3 to 4 damage mod T15 maps with breaches in them, and then a Breach Lord spawns with a sub-fizz totem, with a fucking haste from an ally, and then you've got onslaught from your League Stone, you just can't survive it, you know? It's just like, if you want to do all of the fun content, you really need layers of defenses on your builds, or you need to run with a support. And this is where like the low life CI meta comes from, because you don't have to worry about life flasks, right? Which means you can run more utility flasks. Since you can run more utility flasks, your overall effective life technically goes up because they're on at all times, right? Now, you also don't really have to worry about mana depending on your builds, whereas traps, it's not that we have to worry about mana, but if you're playing a life-based build, your chances are either go Blood Magic, Hybrid, or Mind Over Matter, which means now you have to leave part of your mana unreserved so you have effective life. And again, the penalties kind of just stack against you as you continue to play and whatnot. So I hope this kind of gives a little bit of like insight to you guys and whatnot as to why, because I feel like a lot of people have really been asking me, and I haven't actually given you guys a full-on answer as to why. And that's kind of it. I feel, like I said, because of the way the meta is shifted, if I'm playing a build that I feel like I'm not comfortable in, it's just not nearly as fun to me. And you'll notice it on the streams. I won't stream as long because, I mean, shit, I don't stream for money. I stream because it's fun. You know, if the game starts getting boring to me, you guys should know better than anyone. Like, look at my YouTube channel. I'll go play a different game. And I don't want that to happen. I also don't really want to play the Circle Jerk meta CI Blade Flurry Hand of Wisdom in action because that's not fun to me either. You know, I don't like doing what everyone's doing. I like kind of creating my own little subgenre and just having fun with my viewers and, you know, teaching you guys and whatnot. Yeah, on a side note, if you guys want to know what that ding was, I'm using a trade system called Mercury Trade. I believe it got the okay from PoE.trade, and if you want to see some of the stuff that it can do, actually, I'm just going to show you a quick example here. No, this is not sponsored by Mercury Trade. I'm just a nice fellow Kappa. So you can see this Mercury Trade. Oh, did I just... There it is. Wait, actually, can you guys see this? You can't see it. Why can't you see it? Captured layer windows. Does it work now? Alright, confirmed. You don't get to see Mercury Trade. Feels bad, man. Anyway, though, that's pretty much about it. I just wanted to give a little rundown, a little rant for you guys and whatnot. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see some future videos, all you got to do is send me a message or drop it down below in the comments section below, and I'll be more than happy to see what I can do. I really do like daily videos and interacting with my YouTube community. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't ever want to lose that guys with you. Lose that with you guys. Yeah. Anyway, hope you guys had a wonderful time. Remember, you can catch me streaming live every day at twitch.tv/Pohx. If you're open for discussions and whatnot, just drop by and say hello. Anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful time, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.